Hey, Eric here with Complete MTG, and this is, or perhaps was, my standard deck. This is something that I had put together once I saw the card releases for Eldritch Moon. Things like Spell Queller, Niblis of Frost, Selfless Spirit, Mausoleum Wanderer, and these cards really stuck out to me as realizing that, hey, Blue-White Spirits may be a viable option. And in fact it was, and I spent a lot of time playtesting it and putting it together and deciding exactly what cards I wanted and how many of each quantity. And I would play it against all my other decks and play it against other standard decks that were competitive at the time. I didn't net deck it, and I was really proud of it. It was something that I could be really happy with. By the time I finished all of that, we were already halfway through the rotation for Eldritch Moon moving into Kaladesh, so about a month and a half. And I knew that cards like Ojutai's Command and Dragon Lord Ojutai were about to rotate out. Now these cards were really important to me because they help establish this deck with its late game capabilities. Archangel Avacyn helped in a lot of ways, but Dragon Lord Ojutai was just such a bomb, and Ojutai's Command was such great removal and counter magic. And I just thought, well, I really want to try to get this in before Kaladesh rotates out, so I can at least play it a couple times at my LGS. Unfortunately, time passed. Got a job, got to work. Sometimes, events come up, friends want to meet on a certain day. I couldn't get down to LGS to play standard. There was one week, the week right before Kaladesh rotated out, that I was about to go, and I just got sick. So it just didn't happen. I wasn't able to get down to my LGS in time to play this deck in standard, and then Kaladesh hit, and it rotated out, and that was that. Now, I could have altered the deck and gotten rid of the two cards, really 4 cards that were the issue, and then kept playing. But I decided, what was the point? This is something I spent so much time on, I'd have to alter it with cards that were new for Kaladesh, and maybe Blue-White Spirits wouldn't be quite as viable anymore. I mean, Dragon Lord Ojutai was such a bomb, I couldn't imagine replacing it with anything else from Kaladesh or any of the existing sets that would really be worthwhile. And then Pro Tour came around just this last weekend, and Blue-White Spirits was one of the decks in the top 8. I don't know if they called it Spirits necessarily, because it wasn't all Spirits. There was quite a few cards that were not necessarily part of it, including cards that I put in, like Gideon and Archangel Avacyn, that were just so valuable, and Reflector Mage, of course, that were just so valuable in Blue-White that it was impossible not to consider them when building a Blue-White deck. And their deck list was very similar to this. These spells were a little bit different, more to match the needs of the meta for Pro Tour and all the artifacts and artifact creatures that were going to be in play from Kaladesh, and a little bit more on the counter side, whereas I went for more of a control, return spell, return creature to your hand. Each creature can attack or block to destroy target attacking creature. But needless to say, it went to the top 8, and I was like, I knew this deck really had some great potential. I wish I got a chance to go play test it, and now, well, we're already like close to a month. Well, not quite a month, I guess, but coming up on a month of Kaladesh already being out. And I was like, well, it's going to rotate again. Zendikar is going to rotate in 2 months anyways, and then you lose Gideon. By the time I get the cards, play test the deck, and actually get to go play at my LGS, I may get 1-2 games, 1 or 2 tournaments in, and then that's it. So it was really unfortunate. But today, they decided to go back to the old ways and return to rotating every year. They're still going to be pumping out sets as often, and they're not going to be bringing back the core sets, but sets are going to stick around for a lot longer. So what's going to happen is, every time that they're going to get prepared for a set rotation, which will be once a year, they will remove 2 blocks. So when the next one rotates after Amonkhet, I believe is how you pronounce it, when that block is finished and they get ready for the next block, which is currently unnamed, they will then remove Battle for Zendikar and Shadows over Innistrad, both at the same time. Now, this is interesting because this creates one of the largest ranges of sets available for for standard at the same time. So you're going to have between 5 and 8 sets at any point. Now that's a big differentiator, and the most we've ever had in standard up until this point is 7, really. I'm not sure, what was that? There was that one block that had 4 sets. Maybe they had 8 during that time. But that's a lot of sets. That's a lot of opportunity for a lot of different types of builds, which is great, and I really like that. But then sometimes it goes down to 5. Now we saw 5 before. Usually the smallest we ever saw was 5. You would have 3 sets from the previous block, 1 of the current block, and the core set. And I don't know if you remember very well, but probably a lot of players do. That was pretty meek. It was pretty meager. There wasn't a lot of opportunity, not enough meat on the bone to really play that format correctly. And then when you get up to 8 sets, which we haven't seen ever, if in a really long time, that's a big wide range of, 5 sets to 8 sets is pretty big. So I'm a little bit worried about that. But it does renew my faith in the ability to play standard, and knowing that Battle for Zendikar isn't going to rotate out for at least until the middle of next year, so probably about 9 months or so. That's really great, because otherwise it was going to rotate out when Amonkhet came out in, so like 4 or 5 months. But still, I get a lot more playtime with the cards that we currently own, which is fantastic. I really look forward to the opportunity to actually go down to my LGS and play. Anyways, I'm sorry that this video was a little ranty. I just wanted to post a video about it, and especially because today I wanted to announce that the giveaway for the Altered Art cards is now officially over. Let's see, do I have them somewhere? Yes, I do. Just a second. So here's the 2 cards that I initially set up for giving away, and I am officially giving away today and contacting the people who won. So congratulations to those, and I'll be shipping out the cards soon. Anyways, I'll be back to more normal videos soon. I just hope you enjoyed this one a little bit, and we look forward to showing you more about my goal to getting complete sets. Thanks for watching. See you next time.